YouTube is a video sharing website founded on February 14th, 2005 by Jawed Karim, Steve Chen, and Chad Hurley. It was then acquired by Google in November of 2006 for 1.65 billion US dollars. Until 2014, all aspects of YouTube's website were free. In 2014, YouTube presented their newest project, a streaming service that users would pay a monthly subscription fee to use. YouTube Premium, formerly known as Music Key and YouTube Red, allows users to lock the screen on their device or use other apps and still be able to listen to their content from the YouTube app. It also allows users to access exclusive content only available to subscribers and eliminates ads from the website. Users can also download videos for later when they are low on data or cannot access the internet. So, how is YouTube trying to compete with the streaming giants? The answer is making original content exclusive to YouTube. The problem with this is that the content YouTube has put out has been heavily criticized as lacking and mediocre at best. Majority of people don't seem to enjoy the content they make, and most of the content they do enjoy is free. Also, there has been reports of the pricing being too steep with YouTube, which is understandable. As time goes on, however, YouTube seems to be trying to force its users into paying for all of its content, including creator-sponsored content. They have given content creators the option to restrict certain videos unless their viewers subscribe to have access to watch it. They also make the first episode of many of their YouTube originals free and open to the public, but the rest of the episodes are restricted unless they pay. These factors could all be integrated into a hypothesis that could predict YouTube's future as an organization. This topic interested me because YouTube is something I watch multiple times a day, every day, and it's one of my main forms of entertainment since I don't watch cable TV. I've wondered these past few years, however, if people are actually paying for YouTube Premium. Since YouTube stats are not public information, I had to do some digging of my own. This is how I came up with my hypothesis. The more people are asked to pay for YouTube, the more likely they are to subscribe, depending on their income level. The method I used to collect my data was survey because I found it was the most appropriate method to determine if people would pay or not based on their responses and their demographic. My population were all the people that were friends with my parents on Facebook and also some people from my own social media such as Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat as well. There are certain limitations with this choice as me and my parents don't know everyone in the world, obviously, so the population size is very limited from what I could pick from. Also, it's not very diverse as my parents and I are both black, and most of the people in our network are also black, so keep that in mind. Not everyone has social media, so I lost potentially good candidates for data. Also, majority came from my parents' Facebook pages, so there is a lot of age bias since most people in their network are 30 plus years old with stable jobs and steady income. So that might affect if they may pay or not as well. I sampled my population by asking them to take my survey on the social media platforms. I offered a reward of a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card if they left their email address at the end of the survey as an incentive for people who want to take it. I used Google Forms to conduct my survey and used Likert scales for 6 of my 14 questions. I tried to use these scales as often as possible to rule out uncertainty within my questions and never used open-ended to avoid getting my data messed up by outliers and just random stuff. So for my questions, I asked how often do you find yourself on the YouTube website viewing content per week? And here I use a Likert scale. What kind of YouTube videos do you watch? Do the advertisements annoy you? How many streaming services do you use? How often do you see an ad? Do you use AdBlock? If you don't use AdBlock, would you be willing to pay a monthly subscription fee to get rid of the ads and to get other features from the website? How much would you be willing to pay, if at all? What is your occupation? How much money would you estimate that you make yearly? What is your ethnicity? What is your gender? What is your age? What is your highest level of education? And then here's the thing for including the free gift card drawing. I got 152 responses, and my data was pretty interesting to look at. Like this one, how often do you see an ad? I didn't specify per visit or video, which is an error in my project that I'll touch on later. And it was split 18.1% between 3 ads and 7 ads. So I thought there would be an average here, but it really seems like it just depends on what video you may watch or um, just randomly generated. Scholarly articles that I found that related to my hypothesis that helped me understand it better was one scholarly article titled Insight Data of YouTube from a Partner's View. And in this study, they're studying the general overview of YouTube and why the relationship it has with its partners is important. The methods they used to investigate what their findings were studying the data and the analytics of YouTube, and they found out things about why YouTube's partners greatly contribute to the success of the website because they are what makes the website what it is. And I feel like that may be why people were saying the YouTube original content was mediocre. I then put my data into R, and to find my correlation, I did core.test and then my 2 variables I wanted to test, which were the views and if people would be willing to subscribe if they don't already use AdBlock. And my p-value was 0.1607, and it was greater than 0.05. So that means that these 2 variables do have a correlation to each other. And this was with a 95% confidence interval. And I did the same thing with how many times people view videos per week and then their salary. And those 2 variables also seem to have a correlation. In conclusion, my hypothesis was not disproven. No matter how much people are pressured into paying for YouTube, they will not do it if they have a choice, I found. However, I did find that people may be more willing to pay based off what their income level is. I think that in the future, I would need more information on my survey, and I would need a bigger and more diverse population to choose from. I think this hypothesis could be built on with more time and resources to get a better understanding of an overarching theme among the population. But until that happens, this study was a good start.